We keep touching base on the truck, but we haven't started talking about the truck.
No, we haven't.
So this is a 2021.
Yes, 2021 T-Rex
Yeah.
or TRX.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of
The
people.
nickname is T-Rex, though,
Yeah,
isn't it?
and it's because of the that's the premise. You know,
Yeah.
they went after the Ford Raptor.
Yeah.
And they got some Easter eggs inside the car. You know, inside the center console, there's an engraving where a T-Rex is chasing a raptor.
Yeah.
And then underneath the hood, when you pop one of the covers off, you have the T-Rex eating the raptor.
Yeah, which is cool.
Which, I mean,
Which
in
is really
reality, power plants, there's
Yeah.
no replacement for displacement.
Yeah.
You know, so the V6 twin turbo car that's I think it's 3.5 EcoBoost motor that's in the Raptor.
Yeah.
Great. I wouldn't say it's a great motor, but because I've owned one, and I can tell stories about
Yeah.
it. But I didn't own it in a Raptor. I owned it in a Ford Explorer. But I believe, I don't know a lot about Ford. So
Yeah.
I believe basically
About the same
premise,
platform. Yeah.
premise between the car and the Explorer.
Yeah.
But I mean, I only had that car for 3 years, and that thing started burning oil like nobody's business.
Yeah.
It had like maybe, at the time we turned it back in, like 19,000 miles. So 19,000
Wow.
miles, it essentially started eating itself. So yeah, and I don't know. I don't know much about it. I didn't do any modifications to it at all. It had a tune at one point, but it was like, it didn't like it, so we just put it back to stock. And yeah, so yeah, the T-Rex, it's actually a pretty badass truck. And you know, I was talking about the transition of why I have this truck, and I'll touch base on it real quick.
Yeah.
So I got my first Dodge Ram back in 2019. I've always been a majority Mopar guy, besides the two Cadillacs I had. I got my first 19 Ram. It's a new body style. So the DT is the engine code or the body chassis code. Whereas you have the DS, which is the old one, which they still make a 19 and maybe even a 20 Classic, which is the old body style.
Gotcha.
Smaller back door, way less room.
Yeah.
So one of the things that really, I'm a technology guy, and I've said this to everybody I meet. You know, I love technology. It had that big 12-inch screen in it.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
It's slow because it's a Uconnect 4 system and it's years old. You know, technology increases.
Yeah.
You know, so it's years old. But I had a 19 Ram, 1500, and in about 2,000 miles, I pulled the 5.7 out and I put a 6.4 in it. Now, why Mopar doesn't do a 6.4 in the 1500s, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because the 6.4 is roughly 100 horsepower, 100 foot-pounds torque more in the same package.
Right. Right.
So my Ram 1500, and I think I'm one of the first to do it. Somebody might have been the first, or we were doing it at the same time.
Yeah.
Because I bought my truck. They just started hitting the lots in like, say September, October. I bought mine in December of 2018.
Yeah.
And that somebody had posted on the forums. I was like, I was the first one. And they were like, no, my friend did it first. And maybe we were doing it at the same time. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I did the 6.4. And then a couple years later, I did a Whipple on top of it.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it was a fun truck.
Yeah, I bet.
So it's two-wheel drive. So during that snowstorm, it was all over the place. But I was throwing a little bit more boost at it than I should have. I was throwing about 9 and change pounds of boost at it. The problem with the 6.4 motor is design cheapness of it. They use really crappy pistons.
Yeah.
And what happens is you have the intake and exhaust ringlands pop off, and then it just starts allowing blow by, and it just increasingly gets worse and worse and worse. There's probably people with 6.4s in cars that have broken ringlands that don't even know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's in stock applications.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what led me to TRX.
Gotcha.
So honestly, I don't even like blowers.
Yeah.
You know, when I had the Cadillac ATS-V, that twin turbo car, man, I was sold on turbos.
Yeah.
But I also like Mopar so much. Unfortunately, Mopar hasn't gotten in the turbo market. You know, and I could see it. It's I'm sure they can repackage things. They should have done. I mean, they could have done like a like Cadillac did with like a 3.6 twin turbo Charger Challenger.
Sure.
I think it would have been pretty awesome, you know. But with the Whipple, that truck was about 600 horsepower to the wheels. It was fun, but you know what the kicker is? 33-gallon tank. It still got on the highway 25 miles per gallon.
Wow, really?
So with the 33-gallon tank, and that truck's made a lot of transitions from Texas to Florida and back.
Yeah.
Many, many times, more than 10. And I had to fill up 2.5 times. So, and that started with the 6.4 because the 6.4 has more torque. So, you know, the adage is torque gets you going, horsepower keeps you going.
Sure.
So because of the increased amount of torque, the truck was just that truck was like a big car.
Yeah.
It felt like a bigger car. I mean, I loved it. And the new body style, there's so much room in it. Everything's comfortable. I don't really have a lot of passengers, but when I do, I hate pulling my seat up.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I hate having to inconvenience myself just so I can have passengers.
Absolutely.
And in the Ram, in the new body style Ram, you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
There's room for days.
Yeah.
Like even if you were a tall guy, I'm not, you know, I'm 5'10", but I sit pretty low.
Yeah.
And I do not have to adjust my seat no matter who is in my car. And I go out there with the guys from Starwood, I go out to lunch with them all the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a full row, you know, full seat. And the seats recline in the back. So they're all like,
oh, they
what?
do?
Yeah, they recline.
Wow,
yeah,
that's impressive, actually.
Besides this one, you know, that sold me on the Ram.
Yeah.
And because I work on the Hellcat platform so much, the Whipple and the 6.4 got me to want another Ram. And then the TRX was there, and there's certain things about this TRX that it drew me to it immensely, super fast. You know, the center console shifter instead of the rotary knob.
Right, right.
Same, relatively the same transmission. You know, this is an HP 95. I had an HP 75. Both HP transmissions, just one is built better, and this is an all-wheel drive version. And this truck is all-wheel drive all the time. There's no shutting off. There's ways to shut off the front-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Some people have actually learned the hard way that you can't do that on a dyno.
Yeah.
But there's ways to shut off the front-wheel drive, and I got videos posted on Instagram with full send-it burnouts. You know,
oh, no kidding.
With the factory tires.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not with removing drive shafts or anything like that. So, yeah, this truck is really fun. But
that's
having
cool.
that first truck
was
what made me want to get another Ram. And the fact that I work on the platform so much is what put me into it.